Hello from Mindpads. TOK essay. These are a few of the sample knowledge questions and excerpts of the discussion with resources. Please see the pages on Mindpads.org website for the complete discussion and links to the resources. Write to us at mindpads.org@gmail.com for support in preparing and writing your essays and presentations. TOK essay topic number 7. Facts are needed to establish theories, but theories are needed to make sense of facts. Discuss this statement with reference to two areas of knowledge. In a multidimensional, complex dynamic world with big data and multiple correlations, to what extent is it possible to theorize all the generated data? In our multidimensional, complex and dynamic world, where facts, data, information, and observations are minted out uncountable, where knowledge is increasingly outpacing even the requirement of understanding, where we do not want to wait for understanding to catch up with knowing, where events are increasingly the products of chaotic combinations, and there is no room for explanation except for detailed description, are there or can there be theories for everything? And if it makes it easier to accept, there need not always exist human comprehensible theories behind correlations of big data. We should get used to the idea that we're going to know some things without understanding them. We will be able to reliably predict outcomes, but not understand exactly what drove those outcomes through building elegant and intelligent computer models using trillions of bytes of data. We can predict because we can build intricate computer models using metric tons of data without having a theory. Read more at mindpads.org. KQ number 6. In what ways are experimentalists with the facts and data are perfect partners with the theorists and their theories? Francis Bacon believed in facts, data, and observation. And he also believed that theories should seek the physical causes underlying observations so as to predict the results of observations not included in the data that generated the theory, and that the theory experiment were partners in the quest to generate sound science for the benefit of society. And yes, with only grainy and fuzzy data, you cannot have a good theory. Galileo could not see the Saturn rings, and he came up with a probable model of Saturn's rings with very different and incorrect diagrams that Christian Huygens catalogued before he came up with a better theory for Saturn rings equipped with a better telescope, getting rid of all that grainy data. That is also an outstanding example of discoveries made by experimenters which really had no theoretical precedent. That is what makes Rutherford and Faraday the two greatest experimental physicists in history. Rutherford discovered the atomic nucleus in 1908, but it took 30 years for physicists to develop a concrete theory of the nucleus. Similarly, Faraday discovered the seamless relationship between electricity and magnetism, one of the few examples of unification by experiment, but it took until after his death for Maxwell to come up with the pioneering theory of electromagnetism. These are a few of the sample knowledge questions and excerpts of the discussion with resources. Please see the pages on the mindpads.org website for complete discussion and links to the resources. Or write to us at mindpads.org@gmail.com for support in preparing and writing your essays and presentations. KQ number 7. Are we moving towards end of theory with the flood of facts and deluge of data? Unlike in the past when systematic data was scarce, big data is getting bigger and computing power is getting cheaper by the minute. In our present world, massive amounts of data and applied mathematics are replacing every other tool and every other theory of human behavior, from linguistics to sociology. The hypothesize, model, test approach to science is becoming obsolete and is influencing the research practices of corporations, states, journalists, and academics. In physics, Newtonian models were crude approximations of the truth, and similarly in biology, the Mendelian process have turned out to be an even greater simplification of reality than Newton's laws. The discovery of gene-protein interactions and other aspects of epigenetics has challenged the views of genetic DNA as destiny, and even introduced evidence that environment can influence inheritable traits, something once considered a genetic impossibility. The more we learn in any area of knowing, in evolutionary biology for example, the further we find ourselves from a model that can explain it. For the complete discussions of these TOK topics, do visit us at mindpads.org or write to us at mindpads.org@gmail.com.